Yo.
We are live. Here we go. We're back in action again. We missed him so much. The man who does more deals than anybody else ever. Mr. Jamil DMG back in action. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm feeling championship level tonight. I'm feeling in the zone. I've got the, come on. Oh, bro. Yeah.
If there
was the
was
90s jacket on, come on, baby. Aren't you feeling it?
If there was a being that embodied the 90s Bulls, it's you, Brent.
I actually got this from Steve Kerr. It's really incredible.
It's no. Amazing jacket, by the way. I love it. I got all kinds of envy right now. I want that jacket, bro.
I love it too, because we had texted last night and we're like, do we have any guests on? And go, no, it's just the big three. And then I think Pace sent, or I did, what are the Jordan and Pippen and Rodman. And so in honor of that and in honor of watching The Last Dance for the second time.
So good.
I had to put this on today. It feels
good.
Dude,
it looks so good.
It's a little bit hot, so I'm not going to wear it the whole time. I just want to let everybody to know we're in championship form today, people. So I want to be ringing this bell. I want to be going bananas. I want to hear people's success. I want people to post in their comments if they have gotten their first deal, if they got a deal from last week to this week, anything, sub 2, a listing, wholesale, you talk to us, any kind of win that you have, I want to hear about it. Don't you guys?
Absolutely.
100%.
Who's got one for us?
What's that?
Who's got a win for us?
I've got a minor win.
What's that?
Let's hear it.
I've got a minor win. So, you guys know we have a door knocking team.
Yes.
Yep.
And we got I haven't had one in like 2 months, but we got a sub tail deal, which means I buy the house subject to, and I take it retail, right? Mm-hmm. So the advantage of that for anybody that is paying attention is that I don't have to go get a hard money loan, right? I get to just take over the existing loan. The challenge is, why wouldn't I just keep that property subject to and allow it to cash flow long-term? The reason being is because it doesn't cash flow. It has no cash flow, but it has a good equity spread. And so we'll take it subject to. The reason for that is I don't have to go get a hard money loan. I don't have to use any credit or anything like that, which is really cool because as all these people, we have 160 people just kind of coming in. We'll probably hit 300, 350 today. As these people are coming in, everybody on this show is trying to become the hero in their own story, right? Yep. And part of that is figuring out what the barriers to the entry are. And you guys need to understand wholesale real estate and doing creative finance, primarily wholesale real estate, is the easiest way to get into real estate. It is the easiest way. So somebody asked me today, so anyway, we bought that subtail and we'll document it and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be cool. Somebody asked me today on a first responders podcast, they said, what exactly is it that you, Jamil, and Brent are trying to accomplish with Wholesale Hotline? And I said, I think it's 3 things. My personal thing, and I'd love to hear from you guys. What are we trying to accomplish with the Wholesale Hotline? Number 1, our job is to show other people the path to retire from their day job. Not retire at all, not retire entirely, because we as human beings have too much value to stop working, right? So number 1, it's to quit your day job and to move on or get that out of your way so you can work on number 2. And that's our job, is to show people how to find their passion, their true purpose, and then bring value. Look at Scotty Free. Bring value to the world by not being encumbered by a 9-to-5. Number 3, final thing, is to build a legacy and teach your children something that you learned way sooner. Way sooner. I wish I didn't have to go to a donut packing factory when I was 14, 15. I wish I was driving for dollars, or I wish I was helping my dad comp properties, or I wish I was doing those types of things. And so it's our job to help you guys quit your day job, get financially free, and ultimately create a family legacy of your own so that your children and your children's children are learning real estate at a much younger age. I know I wish I learned real estate at a much younger age, right?
Absolutely.
What do you guys think it is that we're trying to accomplish on Wholesale Hotline?
I mean, my thoughts are this business model is it's life-changing, right? It's a life-changing business model. We have the ability to, make money from these deals that we would never see, even with a professional designation from a university or college, right? The capacity to change the financial future and trajectory of our families through this business model is so available, and it's so readily available. The problem is that there haven't been high-level operators out there that have been willing to give away the information. And yes, we all have mentorships and we're all coaches, but at the same time, I feel like when we do this every Monday, this is our way of giving back to the community and saying, hey guys, look, you can absolutely get information from a mentorship, you can get information from a YouTube show, but what about just here, live? If you have a question from last week, why not bring that question here? Why not bring that opportunity to discuss it with the three of us? I mean, the sub 2 students, the Astro Flippers, or the TTPers don't get an opportunity to have all three of us being able to share information in any of those programs. So I just think this is such a special thing, and it warms me up. It warms my heart for us to do it, and I'm just thankful for the two of you guys.
Love it. And listen, this is a small community of people. I don't know if you've ever been frustrated trying to explain what you do to your family or your friends or anybody else out there. Listen, there are certain people, there are two types of people. There are people that discover wholesaling and don't give a rat's ass what it is, don't care, it doesn't click, it doesn't turn anything on, the synapses in their brain don't fire off, the chemicals don't change. And then there's people that hear it, understand it, and want to live it, love it, want to be a part of it, want to go out there, use their talents and their voices and their skills and their time and their efforts to go out and really make a difference in their community. And that's what this is. This is a group of a tiny, 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 tiny niche that understands this language. This language that we talk about on here is gibberish to everybody else out there that doesn't understand or has a passion for investing in real estate. Because the fact is, wholesaling is the foundation. Being able to source real estate opportunities is the foundation for you to build your real estate investing business. I bought a book, guys, this weekend at a used bookstore called Real Estate Investing 101. It's 242 pages, and 241 pages of that is just explaining terminology. Okay, there was one page on how to find deals. That's a problem. That is a problem for anybody out there that has that little seed, has that little fire in their belly to get into this business, and they don't know where to start. I want to remedy that. I want to be by the two best guys in the country to be able to explain it and to break it down. And not only that, but give everybody confidence to be able to take action. It all comes down to quality conversations, right? Quality conversations with distressed property owners or the people that represent them. And I'm just so excited to be able to have a platform every Monday to come on here and rock and roll and speak with the best people around the country and the people that are really that understand me. It's a beautiful thing when people can understand what you're doing and understand what you're passionate about. And that's what we find here. That's what we're all about. So we love you guys. And that's what it is. I want to give you the ability so that you have the confidence and the skills and remove all the clouds and doubts or whatever so that you can take action, make a difference in your lives.
Awesome. I love that. Isn't it the weirdest thing though? I think us three, I hope I'm saying this correctly because and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I feel like we take for granted because we get so used to what our daily schedules are like, but we wake up and get to do whatever we want. Like Brent's like, I'm going to go to Yellowstone and Tetons for a week. Jamil and I are like, let's go to New York and New Jersey on a whim. Oh wait, Jamil says, No, let's go to Philly too. Let's take the train down. We just go wherever we want, do whatever we want. And ultimately, everything we're doing is trying to bring value to everybody else. And this real estate, wholesaling real estate, is really the only channel or medium that I think anybody can jump into, control their schedule, and bring so many different people so much value. Sellers, buyers. Think about all the people that get paid on a real estate transaction in wholesale. How many people is that providing value for? 15, 20, 30 people? My bookkeeper, Tony, just sent me a thing saying, hey, I need to set up the foreman's paychecks for Friday. I've got like 62 people working on my construction crews. Like, amazing how many people we benefit. And it all comes down to quality conversations with
distressed property owners or the people that represent them.
And we get to solve their problems. How freaking cool is our job, dude? It is the coolest.
I love it.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Do you guys mind? There were some serious deals getting done up here when at the top of the comments. There was also Cora and who else was up there at the very top that was on there first, and they said we deserve a bell ring. So here you go.
Everybody.
Ding, ding, ding. Love it. Absolutely love it, guys. Good job. Claudia, here's what's cool is two of those people I have one-on-one calls with. What's up, RJ Bates?
What's up, RJ?
I've been doing this little challenge for myself. I told myself I want to bring as much value to people I've never spoken to before. So what I'm doing is 2 30-minute Zooms every morning. So 2 people for the next 90 days. So I'm going to do 180 one-on-ones with people I've never spoken to before and give them 30 minutes of guidance in their business, in their personal life, in their tax situation, whatever it is. I'm just giving 30 minutes every morning. And 2 of the people, Nisha and Claudio, that I'm talking to this coming week are people that said that they got deals. So I'm excited to hear about those deals. I'm excited to hear about their business, excited to talk about how they're going to reinvest that money. I think Brent has a really good breakdown of once you start getting deals, Brent, where do you put the money? Do you just spend all the money on Chicago Bulls jackets, or do you put it all? Do you put 100% of it into marketing? How do you divide that up once I start making a little bit of money?
When you start out, I want you keeping 80% of the money you make. 80, and don't hire anybody. I love what Sean Terry said on this show. 3 months. 30,000 each month before you hire anybody. That's crazy, Brent. I don't have enough time. I want to hire people. I want to work on my business, not in my business. Work in your business.
Yeah.
For real. Work in your business for at least the first 18 months. 18 months minimum. I would prefer you to work in your business for 5 years so you know what's going on and you keep all of that money as opposed to putting it out all over the place. And now instead of going out and being a killer at conversion or a killer at lead generation, now you're managing people. Now you have to read leadership books. Now you're growing all these things. It comes. Just have patience, but build something rock solid and build a really heavy bank account based on your efforts. I am telling you, that is the name of the game. That's what sets everything up. Listen, Michael Jordan doesn't get endorsement deals unless he performs on the court. You're Michael Jordan right now, okay? And all those Laker fans, I hear you. I see you. Congratulations out there. I love you. You're incredible. It's the same thing with LeBron James. He doesn't get endorsements unless he's performing on the court. You're on the court now. What you're telling all of us, and I hear it all the time, is, well, I don't want to be on the court. I want to be the coach. I don't even really want to be the coach. I want to be like the assistant coach. Are you kidding me? You have the talent. You have the skills. Go out and use them.
Love it.
Are you telling me that LeBron and Michael Jordan are not outsourcing their layups and their free throws and all that?
To the Philippines, right?
You know, it's funny. One of my Astro students, Curtis Harvey, he's been in it for the last, he started about right before COVID, and oddly enough, had some time to sit at home, and he's been doing some text outreach, and he's had $100,000 months consistently. Mm-hmm. Consistently, he did 18 deals last month, and you want to know how many people he's hired?
Zero.
Not a soul.
Yep.
In fact, he still won't quit his job. he still has a W-2 job. He's stacking cash. He's been doing deals. He's doing a high volume of deals as a solopreneur, and he finds the time to do all of that, have a full-time job, still crush his wholesale business, and he has had no need to hire anyone. So to me, I think that's just, proof in the pudding that you can do a lot with just time management.
Listen, on stage and to you and I, when we were in North Carolina, Max Maxwell said he still lived in his mom's house until he had like 500,000 in the bank or 800,000 in the bank or some crazy, because he knew the importance of keeping these things. I'm telling you, this is what you need to do. You need to keep the money that you make. You need to stay on there as long and as hard as you can. Yes, it gets tiring. Yes, you have bigger visions. Yes, you want to do all these things, but I'm telling you, if you stay on the court, you're going to win, and you're going to win long term, and you're going to learn so much in 18 months to 5 years that it will be impossible for you not to build $1 million net worth or $1 million business or whatever it is, whatever whatever you want to do, work for your church, buy a bunch of properties and be the rental king of your area, whatever it is. It starts with your ability to source the deals and put in the hard work and to talk to people.
Love that. Can we do some house cleaning just real quick?
Yep.
So I've got a couple of people saying they want to do Zooms with me because I've been doing that for the last 10, 15 days, and I'm going to do it for another 80 plus days. So if you guys want a one-on-one Zoom with me, you've got to come to Sunday Service, which is my creative finance podcast on Sunday nights. Last night we had about 425 people watching live. And what I'm doing is every week I'm giving away 14 calendar links for people to schedule a call with me for the upcoming week. So I'll do that for the next 10 weeks coming up. Sunday Service inside my Creative Finance Podcast Facebook group. Second thing, pretty interesting. I want Jamil to talk about this because I'm actually really excited about this. My wife and I had a scheduled dinner to go to Nobu, and I moved it because I was so excited about this. So Jamil, if Gerardo is brand new, he just said, I'm brand new to this, just finished the free TTP courses, and I'm in the Phoenix area. So Jamil, if I'm brand new or I'm doing deals and I want to know other people that are doing deals, I live in Phoenix or the surrounding area. Hell, if I live in Flagstaff or Tucson, should I drive somewhere on Wednesday evening? And what is that event all about?
If you're anywhere near Arizona, even in California or a surrounding state, it would be worth your time. It'll be worth your drive to get in your car and come see Brent, myself, and Pace at the Keegley offices Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be the network event to start off all networking events again. As we know, it's been really tough with COVID. It's been, just our community hasn't had an opportunity to really get together just because space is hard. Fortunately for us, we have brand new large offices in the Tempe area, and we opened up our doors for everyone to come in. So 5 o'clock Wednesday, Pace, Brent, myself will be running a panel. It'll basically be Wholesale Hotline live, guys. In addition to that, we're going to feed you all Chick-fil-A, and you're going to get to network with people of all skills, calibers, resources, deficiencies, people who need your help in specific areas, people who are going to be able to help you. So this is an opportunity to squat up. This is the motto of this show. If you're in the Phoenix area or anywhere nearby, Wednesday, 5 p.m., squat up. Let's go.
So check this out. In Dallas, so Jamil and I just left Dallas. We had this really big event right at the Dallas Star. It was super cool. The Dallas Keegley franchisees, they put it on. It was epic. They actually had to turn people away at the door. First question I get when I walk into this event is, where's TTP? Sorry, guys. He doesn't travel with us. But
listen, it's Pace and Jamil do America. All right. It's on the shirts.
Check this out.
The title. Okay.
So during the event, I'm introducing people to each other, right? That's our job. Jamil and my job. We're not the heroes. Okay. Jamil and I are not the heroes. We are the guides, and we are trying to make everybody else there the hero of their own journey. And so what we're doing is we're helping people collaborate with each other, and we're connecting people and all that kind of stuff. Jimmy Au, one of my students, got 4 houses under contract since that meetup with people that needed help. So guys, you need to be coming to these meetups that Jamil and I are doing. Typically they get overbooked. We can't have, we probably could have had 200 plus people in that little spot, but they were turning people away for COVID. But in Phoenix, it's a much larger space. It'll be spread out. Guys, if you want to do deals, going to these meetups and hanging out with us and meeting people, like Jamil said, with deficiencies or some people with superpowers that might need you to come in and help. It is amazing how many deals we have all done by going to these local meetups in Phoenix. In fact, a lot of my businesses that I own have been started because I've partnered with people at these local meetups. So guys, these meetups can be the lifeblood of your business or the rocket fuel you need to get launched by meeting and squatting up with people.
Love it. Thanks, guys.
Can you do wholesaling from Spain, Jamil?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How?
I have a student named Anna in Switzerland.
All you need is access to an internet connection and a telephone.
Yeah. I have students in South Africa, Australia, Poland, and Israel. So, and they're all doing deals. So you can do it.
Dude, one of your students, by the way, Natasha Turner.
Yep.
Who's like one of my favorite people. She's also a sub 2 student. She just bought a Keegley franchise.
I know.
That was so cool to see her last week. Jamil, what's going on with the Keegley franchisees? Like, I just saw a whole gaggle of them like come into Phoenix and hang out. Like, what's that whole process looking like?
It's awesome. We're in training right now. So we have a new class of franchises that are in training right now with our team. They essentially learn the entire model. They're there for, 1 week to about 10 days, really just getting an understanding and getting all the systems built out and working with our crew so that when they open their doors, they're providing the same level of service as Keegley Corporate has been in the Phoenix area. So I'm really excited. Natasha is an amazing, amazing person, as are all the other individuals that are now a part of the Keegley family. Welcome, guys. And we are coming to a city near you. So Keegley should be national within the next 6 months to a year. That's my goal. We're definitely on our way.
Love that. So Luis Montoya says, if there's anybody in Dallas, Texas, I can squat up with, I'm basically by myself, which you shouldn't be, Luis. Here's the 2 people I want you to reach out to. Number one of my favorite TTP alumni is Phil Gore. Reach out to Phil Gore in Dallas. He's an amazing guy. I would also reach out to Jimmy Au, Jimmyau. He's one of my very favorite sub 2 students, an absolute action taker. He will come and help you out with your business because he's a massive go giver. That's the community we're trying to build here, guys, is all 3 of our individual communities come together as one, just a massive community of go-givers. So Phil Gore is the dude in Dallas that I would reach out to for wholesaling. Also, Jamil, what's the name of your franchisee in Dallas? How can somebody reach out to your franchisee in Dallas?
Brad and Randy Myers, and I'll share their information in the chat.
Do that, because it looks like we've got a whole bunch of people in Dallas, Fort Worth area that are looking to connect. And I think your franchisees are going to be probably in the next 6 months some of the best and most connected guys in all of DFW.
Highly agree. I'm putting that in there right now.
Love that. So also, Jamil, we just had somebody make a comment and said, wait, so you guys are coming to Philly?
Yeah.
What's your thought on that? What do you think we should do there?
Eat cheesesteak. No, I'm super excited about Philly. I haven't actually never have visited Philly before, but I have a lot of friends in Philly. I get messaged by a ton of guys that are out there doing the business, and Pace, I can't wait to get out there and shake hands with and be a part of that community. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What date are we going to plan on doing that, or have we not figured that one quite out?
Well, I know our dates are the 21st to the 25th. Do you happen to have a picture of our venue in New York, New Jersey that you could put up on the screen?
Absolutely. I can do that. Tell me about it while I pull it up.
So we're going to be at the East River Amphitheater in New York. And it's an outdoor theater, which is amazing. So we won't have too many of the COVID issues because we'll be outside. But it's large enough to fit at least 500 people. So, you know, if we're doing social distancing, we should be absolutely fine with the numbers that Pace and I will have out there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put a link in the chat so everybody can see where that's at. So if you're from New York, New Jersey, or you want to travel from wherever, you can see where the venue is going to be. It's going to be pretty epic. I'll pull it up on screen share if we need to as well. But I'm excited. An outdoor venue in the fall. It's going to be super cool. Usually like in that Dallas event, I'm like, because we had so many people there and I'm walking around telling people everybody to meet each other. Hey, go over here, walk over here, whatever. It gets kind of hot. So I'm excited about hanging outside and doing, actually, I think that'll be our first outside event.
Awesome.
It'll be cool.
Awesome. I want to just touch on this real quick. Yep. Facebook user, only one way to find out. Call them. You know what I mean? Like, there's only one way to find out how reliable those pictures are going to be from 2019. Most of the time, they're going to be pretty good if you're doing it, if you're virtually driving for dollars. But only one way to find out is call them. Pick up the phone, get their number. You know how to get it. Batch skip tracing, get the phone number and call them, and just don't make any assumptions. Don't make any hallucinations that properties are going to be like less. You're going to get less deals, or you're going to have, you know, less opportunities because you're virtually driving. Test it out. Test it out. That's what I'll say for most things, but this one for sure. Test that thing out. All right.
Love that. So guys, we get a lot of people in the side comments, and I think, you know, we'll jump into some questions here shortly, but we get a lot of people in the side comments saying, hey, I'm in Oahu, for example, right? So you've got Hokaj SB saying, looking to squat up in Oahu. I'm from Hawaii and my market is high. What advice would you give me? Hokaj, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I have 30 sub-2 students in Hawaii. They all go hang out. They go work together. They go jogging together. It is crazy. They tag me all the time. And so Laura and I are talking about going to Hawaii for Christmas vacation. Jamil, I know you're going, but Hawaii, guys, you can either invest there. There are people wholesaling, fixing and flipping and buying and holding there. I would squat up with them. And I'm getting to my ultimate point. Also, you can virtually wholesale from anywhere, right? Yeah. One of our guests, Lauren Hardy, talks specifically about virtual wholesaling. So go back and watch that episode if you want to hear about virtually wholesaling. However, if you guys want to know where to squat up, I would suggest two main places. Number one, I know my Creative Finance Facebook group is highly active. We have close to 60 to 70 posts a day. Really, really good, valuable stuff. And everybody's squatting up and doing deals. It's not just Creative Finance. It's also wholesale. It's also fix and flip. Oh yeah, bro. Aaron, you are 100% right. I saw CTP take that off. I was like, how is he holding on to that? That's crazy. The second place I would squat up is go to Wholesale Hotline's Facebook group. I see people in there linking up, squatting up, and doing deals together frequently. So no matter where you are, no matter if you're in Siberia, you're in Alaska, you're in Hawaii, or if you're in Mexico, it does not matter. You can go to the Wholesale Hotline Facebook group or to my Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group, and you can squat up incredibly easy.
Awesome. Pacer, I think you could answer this question.
Yeah, batch skip tracing is the same as batch lead skip tracing. Yes, it's the same exact thing. Batch driven is owned by batch leads, and both of those are owned by batch skip tracing. So yes, 100% the exact same data. Great question.
What I want to do, and I thought this was really interesting because I feel it's something that you do incredibly well, Pace, is I want everybody to take a picture of this and put it on their Instagram stories, because I am telling you, there's going to be random people that are following you or you're following or whatever on Instagram that are going to see this and they're going to be like, oh, they're in my market. Who is this person? They know They watch the same thing I watch. There's going to be some connections there. A lot of people can't watch this live. This thing gets 10, 15,000 views over the week, and only a segment of that is live. So put it out on your Instagram. Take a picture. Tag us in it.
Right now.
Please.
Right now.
That's all we're asking for. Tag us in it so that we can really expand the network, so that you can really squat up with people, because you never know. If you've never taken a picture and put it on your story and people are like, what is this? This is crazy. Or there's going to be a connection that gets made. Watch your DMs. It's going to be cool. So take a picture of this, put it on, tag us in it. I'd love to just have it blown up and it go bananas.
So I have a t-shirt designer that's designed. You guys know about my stupid 990 challenge, which I'm not going to go into right now, but I'm doing this 990 challenge that I'm having a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
But I have a t-shirt designer designing a t-shirt for every crazy thing I do. So like a 16-hour live, my 25-hour live, the 990 challenge, like all the cool things I do. That t-shirt designer is also creating a Wholesale Hotline t-shirt, which I'm super excited about. And what we should do is, for the next couple of weeks, every Monday, whoever's tagging us the most frequently, I think we give some shirts and some hats away specific to Wholesale Hotline, so that when you guys go to your local real estate investor meetup, you wear your Wholesale Hotline thing. It says squat up on it. Other people are going to be like, yo, Wholesale Hotline. That's so dope. So
let's
guys,
give people all the swag. Let's
yes.
give them all. Let's give them your hats. Let's give them the TTP shirts.
That's a great idea.
I've got this master lead sheet I can send
we should give them like a package, dude.
Leads. Let's give it all out, man.
Are you talking about like a wholesale care package?
Mm-hmm.
A wholesale care package.
Let's do it.
A get started package.
Yeah.
So let's start it tonight, guys. So we're going to pick a viewer from tonight's viewership who tags us in their Insta story, and we'll send you the Wholesale Hotline care package. It's going to
Who gets to choose them? Jamil?
No, Pace. I think you get to choose this week.
Yep.
I get to choose this week. So what should I base my judgment on? Is it whoever's tagging us right now? Should I just randomly select somebody who's tagging me, you, and Brent on Instagram? How should I do that?
Well, my criteria was going to be that I could tell that they were a real estate investor from their account. Right. That's one thing that we don't do as real estate investors. We don't want to own that we're doing this as a business. Right. So we tend to hide that fact, and we mute it and all of the other things that we have in our on our bios. But I don't know. What about that, Pace? What do you think of that?
Bro, I freaking love that.
Tag us in your Insta story, and if we can tell that you're actually a real estate investor from your bio, Pace will choose the winner.
Awesome.
And I think a TTP Speedo, as you can see on the screen, is a great idea. But because a thong is more of a T-back, I think we should make it the TTP thong.
Yeah.
We're going to definitely get that hooked up.
Yeah, we tried a few different styles, but we've got it really down to a straight T now. So it's very nice. Very nice.
All right. So whoever's tagging in Instagram at the end of the show, so 5 minutes before the end of the show, we are going to announce a winner. And what that winner is going to get is a Wholesale Hotline care package.
Yep.
Okay. That's going to be an Astro hat, a Sub 2 hat. That's going to be a TTP hat. And then also a Wholesale Hotline t-shirt, which what we're going to do is I'm going to start doing this cool thing where I know what we could do, like a standard shirt that's like standard, but I think if I have this t-shirt designer, she'll create a new one every quarter. So it's kind of like a collector's edition type of thing. Like, oh, dude, you got that one in like the holidays. That's so cool. It's a freaking Wholesale Hotline holiday shirt, whatever. We're going to have a new shirt every quarter that gets designed, and it's kind of like a collector's edition. So tonight, 5 minutes before we end, I will choose a winner on Instagram. Whoever's tagging us and their profile, you can tell that they are a real estate investor or wholesaler.
I'll even one up it. I'll give them access to the workshop, the TTP workshop, $500, right?
Damn.
I will give you access to the TTP workshop.
I better start tagging right now, dude.
I want that.
I'm tagging right now. I'm tagging both of us hardcore. I'm just going to choose myself. That's a good one.
Marcus Glover, if you're doing virtual wholesaling and do you have to find a title company in the state you're trying to do the deal in, or can you use a title company that you're used to using? Marcus, in my experience, and it does span multiple states, you absolutely have to find a new title company in every state that you're working in. Every state's going to have different rules. Every title company is going to have different title officers. What you want to do, Marcus, is you want to go into one of these Facebook groups like the Wholesale Hotline Facebook group or the Creative Financing group or the Brent Daniels TTP group. Go into a Facebook group and find out where investors are doing their deals in the market that you're in. The thing is that not all title companies are investor friendly. And so what you really want to make sure that you do prior to getting into a contract is electing a title company that's going to be friendly to your transaction style.
Something to add on top of the title company thing. So I have a lot of students that are doing pre-foreclosures, right? Because it's obviously a really hot pain point. So what happens is if you get a seller under contract in a pre-foreclosure, it's interesting to watch people that don't go open escrow until they find a buyer. If you have a contract on a pre-foreclosure or anything, you need to go open escrow immediately, even if you don't have a buyer. You need to open escrow because title needs to order a preliminary title report, which means they're just making sure everything's clean and clear. I've seen so build a relationship with your title company. Open escrow immediately. You get a contract within 24 hours, go down to your title company or email that in and open escrow so they can start doing their job while you go find your buyer.
Yep.
You'll find people. Go ahead, Jim. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Pace, but by doing that early, like Pace is suggesting, you're also going to stop yourself from having any issue later on down the road. I was in a deal with an Astro student who actually ended up electing a title company in Los Angeles that didn't want to do assignments or double escrows. We found a buyer, and ultimately that deal couldn't work out because the amount of transactional funding that was going to be required to close it from at the first title company was going to basically take away almost all of the profits in the deal. It was a skinny deal, and it needed to be an assignment. The sellers were not open to moving title, and so it unraveled. And that's a lesson for everybody. Make sure you've got your title company picked. And like Pace says, actually get that figured out the moment you sign your contract. As soon as your contracts are ratified and executed, go out there and open up escrow at your title company.
Yeah, and I think one other benefit that we don't really think about a lot is, and this is especially if you're working from home, is the title companies have phenomenal conference rooms. Phenomenal. You build a relationship with a title company, they will let you use their conference room all the time. I used it all the time. I used it more than the conference room that was at my real estate brokerage. Like they bring water out to people. They get them coffee. They ask them if they need anything. They've got everything really professional. The people there are dressed nice. Like that is a nice touch. It makes people feel comfortable, especially distressed property owners, when they go in somewhere and they're like, okay, this is real. This is serious. And I've had meetings where I signed the purchase contract there. They wanted to meet at my office. I was working from home. I said, let's meet at the title company. It's right here. Boom. We met there. You sign the documents. That's building the relationship with somebody in the local market where your sellers live. It just adds another level of professionalism to what you're providing. So make sure your title and escrow officer / closing attorney should be one of the fingers on the hand of your team for sure. And they don't cost anything. The title companies will bring you so many resources. They've got attorneys. They've got people that have been doing real estate forever and ever and ever and ever, can answer any questions. They can clean up any paperwork, anything in the contract that needs to be adjusted. Take it to the title company, take it to the closing attorney. Our job is to find deals. Our job is to not be attorneys. Our job is not to do title searches. Our job is not to have to buy big ass conference rooms when we're starting out. So use your title company. It is the most unbelievable resource. And I'm telling you, nobody does it. It's crickets in there. They get excited when you use their conference room.
Yeah, it's great. My title company is sometimes where I have my lunch because I just go in there and grab the snacks off the top of their snack table.
Of course.
And that's my lunch, dude. Nice little Diet Coke and a bunch of goodies. It's like, wow, these are all here from 3 days ago. They're like, yep, nobody comes in here, and they got a conference room. It's all glass. It's also where I do my my seller testimonials. Guys, if you're not doing testimonials at your title company, you are missing out. Make sure you're there for the closing. Get a couple testimonials, put them on your website so that the next seller says, okay, well, I'm not sure about this. You can send testimonials, and it's in a well-lit, professional-looking atmosphere so that it establishes credibility. Guys, we've gotten like 10 really good questions. You guys mind if I do a roundtable on us? And I have Jamil, Brent, myself, Jamil, Brent, myself. Okay, so let's go through Aaron Reynolds' really, really good statement. Let me go through a couple of these things. Jamil, the low-key barber asks, I'm looking to get my first contract tomorrow, but I also talked to a broker about it first. Is that a good thing?
Well, why not? I mean, what did you talk to your broker about? First of all, I'd love for you to unpack that statement a little bit more. Were you asking them about pricing? Were you trying to get an understanding of how the contract should be written? Were you trying to figure out some resources? Were you looking for representation? Were you trying to create some insulation between you and the seller? Low-key barber, if you could, unpack that a little bit for us so that we understand what it is specifically you talked to the broker about.
Well, I'll have Jamil come back to that low-key barber if you unpack that a little bit more. Brent.
Yes.
Andre Moore says, I open escrow immediately after getting the contract signed. Is that what I'm supposed to do only under certain circumstances and not all contracts?
I literally have an app on my phone called Turbo Scan. I take a picture of the signed paperwork right there in front of the seller. All my acquisition managers do it. Everybody in my company has it. We send it instantly to the escrow company. Instantly, we open up escrow because I want to give my escrow and title company enough time to get everything to pull the title report. It takes some time to go back into all the records, especially if you're in a state that's been around since like the 1700s. I mean, give them some time to like dig through the scrolls to make sure that I'm serious. This is a real thing. Make sure that you give them enough time. And if you get it to them soon, I just put new escrow and the address, and boom, I send it to them. I tell the seller it's already at the title company. We're taking care of it right now. If anything pops up, we're going to talk about it. But I look forward to a smooth closing. It's a smooth process here.
So Brent, are you saying 100% of your contracts you're doing that on, or only some of them?
All of them.
Love it.
Also,
100% of the time.
There is nothing more legitimizing to a seller than getting a call from the title company the day after they sign a contract.
Or the day of.
Or the day of. I mean, that right there shows your seller how on top of your game you are. This is just another way for you to add rapport, another way for you to add the fact or some security to the seller that you've got a third party involved now that's going to be handling this transaction. It makes everybody feel comfortable. It's the way business should be done.
Yep. Great point. Sean Mendel, I'll take this one. I feel like I'm drying out markets super fast and then forced to switch to a new market so I don't call the same list with the same people over and over again. Is this normal? No, Sean, that is absolutely not normal. Let me tell you, I think Brent and I have a little bit different strategy here on how frequently we call lists, but my partners and my business, we will call that list 100 times until somebody tells us to stop. That's it. Because here's the reason why. I just got a testimonial from a seller, one of the best testimonials I've ever gotten. The seller says to me at the end, as she's crying, I said, if you could give advice to me and my team, what would be the advice that you would give to my team? Like Cameron is the guy who locked up the contract. So I asked her specifically, what would you say to Cameron since he doesn't actually live in Arizona? You'll never get to meet him. Her answer was this. She said, tell Cameron, thank you for not giving up on me and staying on top of me. We called her and called her and called her and called her. March, first contact, didn't close escrow until September. So we contracted at the beginning of September, closed 3 weeks later. We continued to call her because every other investor is calling her over and over and over. In my opinion, this game is about consistency and timing. The seller's not ready today, so you follow up. The seller's not ready. When you follow up again. It's consistency and timing. So I think that if you're switching out, it means that you have hesitation and you don't quite understand how frequently you have to follow up with the same sellers and build a pipeline that Brent, Jamil, have you guys ever closed a deal that you talked about and then a year later you finally got the contract? Have you ever had anything like that?
Over and over and over and over again.
Brent has one 3 years long.
Yep.
If you gave up on your market and you continually switched to a new market, would that have happened?
No, I would have never gotten that deal. Never, ever, ever, ever. I'm telling you, you got to stay on it. And Sean, 2 words for you that really needs to sink in, not only for you, but for anybody that's being out there, being proactive, keeping their budget low, not spending a lot on marketing. 2 words: repetitious boredom. Repetitious boredom. You have to deal with it. Because you're going to be calling and calling and calling and calling. And you don't know if day 1 of the month or day 31 of the month, you're going to get that one conversation that turns in to that $10,000, $15,000, $100,000 deal, right? Repetitious boredom. Get into the rhythm. People shooting free throws, thousands of them, right? Repetitious boredom. Like, you have to get comfortable with that. It's not all exciting. It's not all action all the time, but get up, stand up, move around, have a well-lit room, have a prospecting little station that you stand on, you get energized, keep up with it, and just keep in your mind that you're going to speak with somebody that needs you. Okay. You will, it's inevitable. Nobody can argue against that. I'm telling you. You're going to eventually speak with somebody. Just keep that going and build that and build that and build that. And then you're going to get into that really good rhythm. You're going to build a really nice pipeline of leads. And that pipeline of leads is what's going to feed you as you go into your future, as you're pushing through, as you're building this business and getting out of your 9-to-5 job, is your pipeline of leads. But if you stop because you're bored or because you think it's all burnt out, somebody else is going to get that deal.
Good point. So, guys, we've got about 350 people watching live between our YouTube and Facebook streams. We appreciate the love. Thank you guys so much. Again, in about 40 minutes, I'm going to announce a winner of our tag challenge for the day. So if you're tagging, you take a picture of this screen right now, screenshot on your phone, screenshot on your laptop, throw it on Instagram and tag Brent Daniels, Jamil Damji, and myself. And I am going to choose somebody that we will send out a Wholesale Hotline care package to. Okay. Chris JB asks, Jamil, this one's a good one for you because you're doing deals all over the country. What is your take on a national closing company like Fidelity or WFG?
I love them. My relationship with Fidelity Title is so strong. In fact, they have opened doors for us in multiple markets. When I enter into a new market, I call Noelle Moretti from Fidelity Title. She's the VP of marketing here in Arizona for the area that I'm in, and she's super helpful. She's absolutely opening doors. She is pre-communicating with title companies before we even get on the phone to make sure that they're going to be able to process deals the way we need it to be processed. She's doing more, and these files don't benefit her at all. Right. This is her just saying, hey, I appreciate your patronage. I appreciate the business, and let me go out and do work and help other Fidelity Title offices get your business and keep your business in the family and make sure that they're going to be able to service you because your work with them reflects on us. And that's the thing about national companies like that. If you really do work well with them, I promise you, they will open up so many doors. It's incredible.
Plus, you get free stuff from big companies. They'll send you to like Phoenix Suns games. They give you like cool stuff. If you're going to like little Tweedly title companies, you ain't getting no free shit.
Fidelity has the deepest pockets. I mean, they own probably 70% of the big time title companies anyway. So they, very smooth, very easy to use. That's who has the best conference rooms and the most professional people up front. And
you know that you get a free pie with every closing at Fidelity as well?
I actually had to stop using Fidelity because I gained so much weight.
Yeah, that's it.
Brent Daniels, Antonio Hurd says, how do you guys feel with sellers ghosting you after agreeing on a price and sending a contract to sign? What do you think are the issues there? What do you think is going on there, Brent?
It's incredible because Jared Frankham out of Corpus Christi, I think. I might be wrong. Sorry, Jared. He texted me yesterday and said, can you talk about this? Can you talk about lead follow-up? Can you talk about conversion more? Can you really get in there? Because these guys are getting a lot of leads. And the issue is they feel good. You feel great. You've got it in your hand, and then it slips away like sand in your hand, right? And so a couple different things. What I would say 100% in this market, if you can get face-to-face, belly-to-belly, knee-to-knee with those sellers. And I don't care if you're doing this virtually, send a trusted person to sit down and present your offers, because more people are leveraging emailed offers than ever in the existence of humankind. Okay. Never has there been more leveraged offers right now. So if you can, I would highly suggest that you meet face to face. And the beautiful thing about that, and I don't remember what his name was, Pace, you'll have to remind me, but Antonio, the beautiful thing is it's a wonderful filter to see if they're serious. Are they going to meet you? And then you ask the all-important question when I come over, if you feel great with everything that I say and the price and the terms that we have agreed on, are you ready to sign the paperwork when I come over tomorrow? Get an advanced agreement before you go on that appointment. If you just send it to them and hope that they're going to sign it, you're going to get beaten like a drum from that dude that's going to knock on their door at 7 o'clock because they didn't answer their phone and is like, hey, we talked the other day about your property. I'm here to buy it. How does that sound? I'm telling you, this is what's happening in this market. Get face-to-face, knee-to-knee, belly-to-belly. If you need to, get a really good mobile notary that will represent you in those markets. Yes, it's going to cost $100 or $80 or $50 or whatever it is. But if you get somebody that's really good, really kind, understands, and either puts you on speakerphone while they're there or talks to them about where to sign and this is where you press right here, you know what I mean? Like date it here and be done with it. That's the advantage that I want you to be going after, because if you're just sending it and praying, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
Awesome. So Hokaj has posted this 7 times. I promise you, we go through all these questions and we're doing them one by one. You don't need to post it 7 times, but I do appreciate it because 7 is a lucky number. Passion. Huge. Okay. I guess that's consistent follow-up, right? He's killing it on the follow-up game. So says, if you are doing virtual wholesale, what population range would best work? I'm going to answer that one. I personally do not spend any time virtually wholesaling anything less than 1 million people. So Jacksonville, Florida would be a really good place to go. Anything Jacksonville or larger. And then also, again, me personally, Brent and Jim Mill might have a little bit different. That's the beauty of this business, is that it's not cookie cutter entirely. The system is, but some of the way you want to do it is up to you. I personally want to go in places that don't freeze over in the wintertime. I don't want to go to like North Dakota as my virtual wholesaling market where half the town just locks up their doors half the year. You want to go to places in the Sun Belt if you are virtually wholesaling. If you have your choice and you're going to pick anywhere, I would go somewhere with 1 million+ population that doesn't completely freeze over in the wintertime.
I would add just to that, I don't mind the smaller markets as long as the average price for the homes in there is above $250,000.
Love that.
Personally, Keegley doesn't really go into a market unless there's a minimum of 1 million people there. Just the access to cash buyers, the liquidity of the market itself makes it for a business model that is a little more difficult if you don't have that population density.
So Andre Moore, I'm going to get one for Jamil. Here we go. Liz says, I have a seller that wants to sell, that wants their sale funds split evenly amongst the 4 people on the deed. Is this something I can call the title company about, or do I let the seller call them?
Well, the fact that the 4 people are on the deed will mean that the title company can absolutely share those proceeds. You cannot get the check unless you're on the deed. So that absolutely would work. So you can split those funds evenly amongst the 4 people, and you would let the title company know that that's how they want it done. There's nothing out of the ordinary there.
Love that. Walter Wicks, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago. Great guy, amazing supporter of the show. Brent Daniels, check this out.
Yep.
Do you feel like if you're not consistently following up and working really hard, do you feel like these type of opportunities that Walter's talking about just fall in your lap when you're not working hard and showing the universe you're ready for it?
No, and not only that, but your mind gets distracted by things that it usually would pick up if your antenna is tuned to it. If you are tuned to finding deals and it is what you are thinking about and what you are obsessing about and what it really gets you going. And I'm not talking about your whole life. I'm just talking about professionally. I'm talking about you having the ability to turn it on and off. And you can talk to Jamil about this. He's phenomenal. He's the mind guy. But it truly is, if you're not tuned into it, you're going to miss out on these opportunities. That's why the consistency builds in. Listen, you have two choices. Either have it turned on and be consistent or don't, right? Who's going to win? That's an easy question. The person that's going to be consistent, because you're going to be ready, willing, and able to grab that opportunity. And that's because your brain is tuned for it. You've got your antennas up and you're just unstoppable with understanding the opportunities that are coming your way.
I love that. I kind of draw the analogy of, are you fishing from the sidelines as you're throwing your pole into the river, or are you standing in the river with a net? And I can tell you the people who are committed to this business are standing in the river with a net, catching way more opportunities because they are committed to what they're doing. And you get the big fish, you get the small fish, you get way more than just throwing your cast in and testing the waters, right? I love that. I love that point. So, Jamil, this is something, actually, this is really funny. When I first started Wholesale, Jamil was the first person I really reached out to because I knew he was the silent killer in Phoenix, Arizona, doing tons of deals, but nobody necessarily knew him. They just knew that this magical guy named Jamil was behind the scenes on a lot of deals. One of the questions I asked Jamil is like, man, aren't these deals just going to dry up? There's hundreds of wholesalers just zapping all these deals. I sat down with Jamil. Jamil, what's your feeling on new inventory for wholesalers? Is it completely flooded, or what are your thoughts?
Brother, there's always going to be a house available for us to wholesale. There's always going to be a family that needs help. There's always going to be a situation where creative problem solving is going to be the key factor in solving a real estate problem. It's not that we do not live in a world of finite things, right? It's a continual breakdown and then reconstruction of our planet. That's what we do. Yep. That's what we do when we eat. That's what we do when we build houses. That's what we do in everything. We build up, we break down, we build up, we break down. I can tell you this, houses that were renovated in the early 2000s are now needing to be repositioned. If I get talked to by a seller and they said, we completed a renovation in 2002, I can guarantee you that that's not going to be adequate for a retail sale. And so, yes, I think there's always going to be an opportunity for us. There's always going to be inventory for us. The more creative you are, the bigger your capacity to solve problems, the higher your likelihood of being able to find that inventory is. And it really is just about getting after it. Anytime you have that thought, oh, I'm going to run out, I'm not going to be enough, remember that's a scarcity way of thinking. And that should just clue you into, you need to re-energize or refocus the way that you're contextualizing things.
Love that answer. Brent Daniels,
yes.
Sylvester Stallone's nephew is telling me he's low on cash. And I don't understand why that is, but let's read Nate Stallone's thing. He says, anybody know any affordable workshops? Tight on money, want to get my first deal, missed Brent's 40% off sale. Brent, are you doing like an extension of that of any sort, or is he SOL? What's the situation there?
So I talked to my team and they're like, listen, if you just keep you keep putting it out there, resetting the clock on it, that's not going to mean anything. What are we doing? So I said, yeah. Just give me like a discount code that I could tell my friends or family or whatever. And so I'm going to tell all you guys. And crazy. So just if you do want it for the 40% off, put in use the code 200 off. 200 off OFS.
So T0 or 2 TWO or the number 2, the number 0, the number 0.
Like 200 off OFS.
200 off is the code. Got it. So
Yep.
Nate Stallone, that should be good. Facebook user, how do your family men bring balance to your day to day with all that you have going on? Oh my gosh. I would say that this is probably top 5 questions that I get when I do one-on-ones with people.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Don't you have a podcast coming out that talks a little bit about this?
Yeah, my podcast with my wife is called Profit and Love. So P&L also stands for Pace and Laura. Profit and Love is all about how to have balance in your life, what that looks like as an entrepreneur, the roles of each party, both traditional and non-traditional relationships. We're going to be bringing in all sorts of cool guests. We're going to be bringing in same-sex couples that talk about their dynamic. We're going to be talking about everything across the board. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about religion. We're going to talk about how it all coincides with business and how to find that balance with raising children and having a family. So for me, I could give you a really long answer about how this balance works, but the number one way that this balance works is making sure that as you're building your legacy and building your castle, your queen, or if you're a woman and you have a king, the king and queen are building the castle together. You cannot build it by yourself and just expect you're going to work all hours of the night and not communicate and let people know. And so this is a really good answer. Go back to the Dallas meetup. So we went to the Dallas meetup, literally first table I go to, because my job, when we go to these meetups, my job is to go get to know a bunch of people. And Jamil typically hangs out with the host and make sure everything's going really well. And I bounce around, talk to the people, because Jamil and I usually have a speaking portion where I call people out. And that's kind of my job. So I walk up to this table and it's a gentleman and he says, Pace, I want you to meet my wife because she thinks that wholesaling real estate is a scam. And I brought her here for you to convince her that it's not. And my answer was, okay, well, what part of the business does she help you with? What part is she responsible for helping you build? And her answer was, well, he doesn't really get me involved in anything. He just tells me this and tells me that and tells me this and tells me that. I'm like, there's absolutely zero balance and zero respect. My wife helps out so much in my business. It's our business. And you have to look at it that same way, is that every minute that I'm sacrificing away from my children is a decision I made to provide financial benefit back to my household. So when I leave the house, every decision I make that day needs to positively impact the people that are back inside my house. And my wife knows that through communication. And my wife is my queen. She also helps build portion of the castle and fills in the areas where I don't have enough bricks. So I told this couple this, and I said, well, why don't you get your real estate license? And why don't you help him list his properties? And why don't you help him get MLS access? I said, how are you comping your properties? He says, PropStream. I'm like, okay, PropStream's cool, but wouldn't it be better if your wife had MLS access and then your wife could understand the traditional side of the business as well, and you could network with other real estate agents? And he started seeing, oh my gosh, and she started saying, oh my gosh. Next thing you know, she comes up to me, hugs me, and says, this was the best meeting I've ever been to. And it had nothing to do with anything I said. It only had to do with the fact that she realized that the legacy for their family was dependent on her helping her husband build it together. So you have to do it together. You can't, it's not two separate things. It is absolutely not two separate things. I promise you that. Even stay-at-home mothers are way more important to the process than you could ever imagine. My wife is the foundation in which I build my castle.
How about you, Brent? How do you bring balance to your day?
Well, it's really interesting. So Pace has, Pace has Laura working with him in a lot of things and has been working with him. My wife is a nurse. You know what I mean? That's her passion. That's what she wants to do. She's an oncology nurse, and she works for a really, a very, I don't know, upscale hospital, and she loves it. We don't need the finances, but she loves doing it. It fulfills her purpose. So there's overlap, there's understanding, there's communication going on that says, these are the times that I need to be around the kids, and these are the times that she needs to be around. But most importantly, I think, it's not about the timing, it's about the energy you bring to it. All right.
Yeah,
There's plenty of people that get wiped out all day. Yeah, they pick up their kids at 4 o'clock, but they've been working since they're 4 o'clock in the morning. They're just wiped out. They got no energy. They're just laying around. Right. So I never wanted that. And I always thought about that growing up. I never wanted to just be totally drained at the end of the day where I couldn't enjoy the people that I love the most. So I set up and designed my life so that I could have as much energy doing this as I do at my house. You can ask these guys. This is who I am. All right. This is I have a crazy.
That is the funniest thing, because the first time we came over to your house for a party, this is what my wife, Laura, says to you. She goes, man, I thought Brent had an off switch. And she goes, he is so positive, energetic, loving when he's around his wife, his kids. The energy is so amazing. And I go, yeah, that's who he is. Like, that's what I love about my friends, is that these guys are real in their work life and they bring the same energy home to their loved ones. Like, I don't feel like Jamil and Brent turn anything off when they go home. And when I hang out at your house, there's not a transition. It is literally all the exact same energy, which is so freaking cool.
Yep. And you got to design it. I mean, this is on purpose. I didn't get an inheritance. You know what I mean? That's not a thing. It was, you design it. You design it based on your efforts. And it took a long time. To go through it. It wrecked a couple relationships, to be honest. But it just led me up to this point, and God bless it. You know what I mean? And so it's, it's putting in and designing the life that you want with the schedule that you want, so that you can manage your energy in the way that you want, so that you can bring as much life and be a magnet to other people, and joy and happiness and energy and enthusiasm and motivation into other people's world. And I think it's the most incredible way to live.
Jamil, what about you, bro? I'm around you a lot. I would say you and I are like blood brothers nearly. I spend a lot of time with you. I'm over at your house. In fact, you're sitting in my chair. When we have sushi, that's my chair. I know where you're sitting. How dare you? But how do you bring balance to your and Natty's relationship?
Well, I mean, my wife is like the biggest support and my best friend. We don't work in the business together, so we're a little different than Pace and Laura. And my wife is, doesn't have another career, so she's not out in the world like Brent's wife, Erin. But my wife is here. She's a homemaker. She's with our kid. She's making sure that our what goes on in our house is, happens. I can't handle any more than what's going on in our jobs, right? And so she makes sure that my life is supported. And as you guys know about me, I'm a very regimented guy, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've got non-negotiables in my life, meaning I'm going to do these things in the morning. That's going to include, my meditation, my time with my wife, whether it be exercising or just, hanging out, whatever it is. I make sure that I make time for it. I schedule it. And maybe that sounds lame to some people. Maybe that's not spontaneous. I don't care. It works for us, because if we didn't, and if I didn't schedule an opportunity to connect with my wife, and then it would be harder to do that. And marriages can fall apart because people don't connect with each other.
That's a really great point. I really like that. One thing I want to point out to people is that there's no right or wrong way to do it, but there is a right way for you, right? And so for me and my wife, before I met her, wanted to be a real estate agent, right? So she got her license when we were first dating. I wasn't even in real estate. My wife was getting her real estate license. She was going through school. It's always been a passion of hers. So the challenge is there's times where she has to schedule her life, because 80% of her time is taking care of the kids. Listing our properties is the other 20%. So there's things that Jamil's wife, it is amazing what she does. She allows Jamil to spend the time. I go over to Jamil's house and his wife has orchestrated the most amazing world that allows Jamil to be streamlined in his purpose. It is so fun to watch. And it's the same thing with Brent. So whatever that balance is in your guys' life, wouldn't you guys agree it starts with communication?
Yep.
100%. And also don't try to change people. The one thing that I can say I've watched destroy more and more relationships is micromanaging each other. You are who you are, and your wife or your husband is who they are, and accept it and love that. Love it for everything it is, the positives, the challenges. That's your people.
Yep.
Right. Love that. And I'm seeing a ton of stuff. Like, check this out. Aaron saying, this is charging my battery. I got to go get busy. That's the goal of this show, guys, is to get you pumped and excited to go out and do the things that do require motivation, right? Don't sit on your couch. Take what you're hearing here and go put it to action immediately. Love that. Love that. Love that. So let's get into some questions. So people are loving the transparency. People are saying, hey, this is definitely a goal, must be healthier and have that energy to bring my life and my relationships. Brent is 100% right about what he said. Check this out. Scott Berry, I left my W-2 last week to dive into real estate full time. Burn my ships and behind me, no retreat. Think and grow rich. No choice but to succeed. That actually made me like get chills thinking about that. I freaking love that. Look at that book Brent's got.
Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. That's it. When your back's against the wall, you got to go. You got to be in action. So incredible. Real quick, I want to just make sure I get this question a lot in the DMs and in the DMs. Whatever. I'm almost 40. Anyway, I get this question a lot. Top 3 real estate books that I would suggest. Number 1, if you get this thing down, you've got it down. Okay, The Go-Giver, that's number 1. This one's actually really good. These guys actually did some deals, unlike most people that write real estate books. Then this one, the last one, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. This is going to help you understand, or last week with Raphael. This is going to help you understand the different personality types so that you know how to communicate. So that would be the 3 that I would suggest right off the bat. I certainly have way more in a business mindset, personal development type of feel, but those are specifically for real estate. And I suggest those to every single one of my students.
The books that I usually suggest are the ones that Brent tells me to read.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes. Brent reads it. He weeds through all the really best books, and then I just read the ones that Brent loves. So guys, Brent always suggests absolutely amazing books.
Well, it's at this point now that I've read so many, Pace, that I can read, a book that is pretty typical in a night, just because a lot of it is filled with filler. A lot of it's just they literally have to make a quote on how big books are. So they just fill it with a lot of, stories you've heard a million times or analogies or whatever else. And so I really look for the gems in there and can get through most books pretty fast. The books by David Lappin, the Thou Shall Prosper and Business Secrets from the Bible. That'll take me months to get through and understand, but most of them are kind of written soft, so you can get through them pretty quickly. But those 3 right there, go through with a fine-tooth comb, go through it, make sure that you're highlighting all of it, right? Make sure that you're going through and you're getting to all those things, because you can pull this thing up at any time and go to a certain section and see what you highlight and be like, oh, that's what I was thinking. And those good ideas keep popping up in your head. So I highly suggest everybody reading with a highlighter, 100%.
Jamil Damji, can you answer this question? I actually was on the phone today with Maurice Grant in Atlanta. He has a seller willing to seller finance $1 million duplex downtown ATL. And I freaking love Atlanta. I know Jamil and I have like special memories there. I know Brent packed out the house at Brandon Barnes REI Live there.
I love Brandon. I love Vanessa. They're fantastic. They're incredible. They're really doing special things at Atlanta. Atlanta is the best. I love it.
I love Atlanta. So I really like this question because I know, talking to Maurice, he's doing some stuff in Atlanta. I might partner with him on this $1 million seller finance deal, bring a lender to the table, and I'm excited about it. But Maurice lives in New Jersey, New York. So Jamil, you and I are going to go meet Maurice in about 10 days. But for somebody that is doing more national deals than anybody else, what would you say is, there's no right answer to this. There's absolutely no right answer to this, but you personally, what city gets you the most excited about to wholesaling?
Phoenix, baby.
I like that outfit.
Absolutely. How could it be anything but? I know this market. I know the streets. I know that between 19th Avenue and 15th Avenue and Flower and Earl, there's $100,000 difference that you would only know by living in that neighborhood. And I can grab deals because of that, or by knowing that neighborhood, I can grab deals. I can really leverage my knowledge. I think, guys, every market's a good market. Every city is a good city. It's where are you comfortable? Where are you going to actually do the work?
Yep.
That's the best city to wholesale in. There's no other secret formula to it. It's just where are you comfortable doing deals? Where are you comfortable with your information or your knowledge base of real estate? That's where I'd wholesale.
Love that answer. Javon Cross asks a really great question. And normally, guys, I would answer all these creative finance questions on Sunday service, my creative finance podcast. But this is an interesting one because Brent Daniels wholesaled a deal to me this year that I bought from him. I bought it and I helped close it subject to from a dead woman. Super interesting. This one does come up quite often. So he says, hey, you guys have a lot of patience with these questions that have already been asked. If somebody dies while owner financing from you, what exactly happens in that situation? So he's basically saying, okay, I bought the house subject to, which is what I did on that house on Pueblo. I then am the owner of that property as I renovate it, and then I sell it on seller financing. Mm-hmm. What happens if that person dies? The same exact thing that if I'm Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, etc., the estate owns that property, his inheritance own that property, and if not, ultimately, I have to wait for the state to say, hey, there's no named heirs, and then I ultimately can foreclose and get the property back. So yes, it can happen. You can have a buyer who dies. Also, you can have a seller who sold to you on seller financing. They can pass away. Now, if they're the bank and they're receiving the payments and they pass away, all I do is the payments no longer go to the person who passed away. The payments go to their family members, their kids, their estate, etc. So whoever inherits the right of the position that passes away is where those payments go to or where those payments come from. Pretty simple answer.
Pace, do you have any assurances or safeguards in place if somebody does pass away and you have a note or you've got taken the property subject to? How can you make sure that their children or the heirs are going to be playful with you in the sandbox?
So in my promissory note and also in my deed of trust, so we have a note, or a note is all a note is a very fancy IOU, right? It's the agreement between two parties. And if you've seen the movie Dumb and Dumber, you know what an IOU looks like, right? So it's a very fancy IOU. It's not this big like a sticky note. It's very large, usually 2 to 3 pages, explaining all the details of what is owed. And that's what we call a promissory note. I promise to pay you, and I'm going to write it on this note. Therefore, it's called a promissory note, okay? A lot of people call it a note, and it confuses a lot of people, but it's very simple. Then that is secured by a deed of trust, which is just an instrument, a debt instrument. And that's also a document. Inside of both documents, it dictates whatever I want. I can dictate and say, actually, I've got a note I could show you right now where a seller, the seller says, I'll seller finance this house to you, but I want $10,000 down. And I said, I can do that, but I want you to seller finance my down payment as well. So the $10,000, I spread that over a year and a half so that so all of those things are put in the agreement. You can put anything you want in that agreement, including performance language for the party who inherits the house. Mm-hmm. So you can dictate whatever you want on those terms. So when they inherit that property, guess what else they inherit? They inherit the agreement, and they also have to abide by the rules that you set forth in your document.
Boom. Do you have an attorney put that together?
I have an attorney that every 3 or 4 months, we redraft a new promissory note and a deed of trust. Yes, absolutely. My attorney here locally, a lot of people know him. His name is Sean St. Clair. I also have an attorney in Texas, and I have an attorney in Atlanta as well, that basically between those 3 areas I can cover. Oh, and I also have an attorney in Florida. So between those 4 states, I cover just about every type of national law and local law that you could ever imagine. So yes, we have attorneys that draft all that stuff. And even sometimes I'll go to an attorney, I'll say, I want to do this, this, and this. And the attorney will say, I've never done that before, but let's figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we go through the law, we figure it out. By the way, speaking of good attorneys, look who's watching.
Hey, there he is.
Yes.
Right.
By the way, if you guys are not following one of our really, really good friends, Rylas Dana, he is a probate attorney and estate planning attorney. If you have not squatted up with Rylas and followed him on Instagram, you are missing one of my favorite Instagrams. It is the shirtless attorney. He climbs mountains shirtless. He's a very handsome guy. Follow Rylas Dana if you guys are not. Rylas, what's your Instagram, by the way, so we can let everybody know?
At Naked Lawyer.
At Naked Lawyer. Yes. I love him so much. He's so great.
Sorry to do this to you, Pace, but Liana had asked a question about square footage, so I'm gonna remove that. What she had said was she's looking at a house that was originally 900 square feet, and 1,000 square feet were added on after the fact. And she wants to know, should she comp it as a 900 square foot house or a 1,900 square foot house? So, Liana, the answer to that question depends on whether or not there are permits pulled and or what the construction is like in that addition. You could have no permits, but the construction be good, and you can have that added to your property. You can still have that added in. And so it really is just going to depend on the quality of the construction. I'd need a little bit more, Liana, to give you an exact, but if you want to DM me the address, I can look at it a little bit deeper for you at a later time.
That's a great answer.
And then some things to look for there, if there's a step down, right? If there's a step down into the addition, is there ducting to the heating or the air conditioning? Is there bathroom access? Is it up to code? If there's a fire, is there exits for fires? Is the roof sloped all the way down to where it just feels awkward and weird? A lot of these things are looked at by appraisers. And the reason, we buy these cash, Brent. Well, it's not about what we do. It's when we try to sell it to our cash buyer, these are all the things that they're going to have to deal with. And the ones that know what they're doing are not going to go for that deal if some of these, issues are popping up. So it's definitely good to kind of get an idea. If something feels weird in a floor plan, everybody watching and listening, if it feels weird in a floor plan, it's going to affect your ability to sell that deal. If there's a bedroom that then goes into another bedroom and they're calling that a three, and they have another bedroom on the other side of the house and they call that a 3-bedroom house, it's a really awkward floor plan. It's just really awkward to have to go through somebody's bedroom to get to somebody else's bedroom. So you see these things pop up all the time. I don't care what market you're in or what city you're in, but look out for those. Those are some things. I don't need you to go and take a whole home, improvement or a home, inspecting course, but just if it feels weird, if the floor plan feels weird, unless it's like some dope historic property, then you're gonna have to adjust your numbers.
Love it.
I've got a quick answer for this one. Tyler Hurst says, what do you think of all the guys of all the leads for probate? I used all the leads for 2 years. They're amazing guys. They do a great job. Chad is the owner over there. I would definitely look into that. And tell them that Wholesale Hotline sent you, because they will give you a little bit of a discount. They are great, great people, and we use them for a long time. We kind of bypass that. We don't typically work. We do reach out to probates, but primarily we spend more time working with probate attorneys, Rylas Dana being one of them. Last time I physically saw Rylas Dana, I handed him a $10,000 check for 2 deals that we had done. In fact, Jamil, you unknowingly did a deal with Rylas as well not too long ago. It was actually the one that we sold to your buddy up in Lucinda's area.
Yeah, the Chapmans.
Yeah, the Chapmans. So that Rylas Dana made $5,000 on that deal, and then we did another deal 2 weeks before that. So if you're not working with probate attorneys, guys, you are missing out. Rylas Dana, Amazing guy. Definitely reach out to him and follow him on Instagram. By the way, guys, I want to say in 3 minutes, we're going to announce the winner of the Wholesale Hotline package.
Ooh.
Guys, here's what we want to do. Jamil, will you please reiterate to everybody right now very strongly what they need to do to enter this? Because at 6:29, I'm going to announce a winner.
In 4 minutes, we are going to announce the winner of the Wholesale Hotline Care Package, which will include an Astro flipping hat, a Sub 2 hat, a TTP shirt, as well as Brent Daniels' TTP tracking form.
Yep.
And the Wholesale Hotline t-shirt that Pace had made, all in one amazing care package. But this is what you need to do. Take a picture of you watching the Wholesale Hotline right now.
Workshop. And
you get access to Brent's workshop.
Oh my gosh.
All there. This is just overflowing with value. This is like this is Christmas.
Can I announce myself as the winner?
Yes.
No. Because I want to be the winner. No, what you have to do is you got to take a picture of you watching this right now and tag us on Instagram. If you haven't done it yet, do it right now, because in 3 minutes, Pace is picking the winner. And guys, this is like more value than I've ever seen anyone ever give to anybody.
Love that. Love that, guys. Robin Hurt, such an amazing supporter. She's been going hard in the paint lately. I've been watching her. By the way, guys, the Wholesale Hotline t-shirt that we're having designed, this is so funny that Robin Hurt threw this up, but it has a picture of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on it.
Yeah. Explain why that's awesome.
Well, the acronym is PB&J, which is Pace, Brent, and Jamil. A couple of months back, we had a contest where people threw out all sorts of names. We said, what's the best nickname? And people were throwing out all sorts of stuff, right? The Holy Trinity. I really liked that one. I thought that one was pretty cool. But ultimately, PB&J just seemed like it stuck. And no pun intended there, no stickiness. But it was, I just loved it.
What did Tristan say? PB&J coming for that bread.
Oh, that's right. That was so good. Tristan did hammer that one home.
Yeah.
So guys, we have 300 and roughly 350 people watching between Facebook and YouTube. We appreciate you guys so tremendously. Please share this with your friends. Please tell other people.
I can see it. 2 more minutes, guys. Snap a picture right now. Tag Brent, Pace, myself, and Pace in the next 2 minutes is going to pick the winner of the Wholesale Hotline Care Package, which again will include access to Brent's workshop, a Sub 2 hat, a TTP shirt, an Astro hat, the PB&J t-shirt, and the TTP tracking sheet, all delivered right to your door.
That's right.
By FedEx.
What are your guys' thoughts? Somebody asked me the other day, they said, have you guys ever thought about doing a topic, like specifically deep diving on one topic for an hour on Wholesale Hotline? Have you guys thought about that? What do you guys think about that? It's come up a few times, and I said, I don't know how I feel about that, because there's so many great questions in the chat that I don't want to ignore.
I think, I think the beauty of this is we don't know what to expect. We're not preparing. These are real questions from people that want real answers right now because they're dealing with something. If we just go and get on a platform, it's almost like we're on stage every week. You know what I mean? Or at least for that episode, I guess we could try it out. You know what I mean?
I love the flexibility because, again, a lot of guys are really, on a budget. They need to be able to have access to ask questions. And, I would hate to take that opportunity away from someone because we are focused on a topic. But, maybe the guests, maybe our viewers can let us know. Would you guys like to see us have specific topics, or is the round robin of questions your more preferred format?
It's time, Pace.
All right, let's check it out. I'm going to pull up my Instagram right now. I am excited about this.
Throw it.
All right, let me go through here real quick. You guys got to talk. You guys giving me 1 minute to go through all this because
Marilyn Savage asked, "Have I
No,
done a
how's
double
your leg?
close money all the time?" Pardon me.
How's your leg?
My foot is healing.
Foot.
It's still, it's still a mess, but I'm in a brace now. No more boot.
Nice.
Powell was fun. Cody Hoffine is a stud.
Yep. Have you done double close using the buyer's money? All the time. All the time. Yep.
All the time.
Yeah, just make sure that you have a closing attorney or a title company that's familiar with it. They're comfortable with it. Not all of them are. There's going to be some disclosures that they typically have the seller sign. I've never had an issue with them, and it's worked really well. So certainly if it's something that you don't want to disclose the amount of the size of the deal that you have or the amount of money that you're going to make, then rock and roll with it. Do a double close or a double escrow.
okay, I have a winner.
Okay.
It is so apparent because they followed instructions from the very. I'm looking back at the second we talked about it. Right, we announced it like 45 minutes ago. They started posting 45 minutes ago, and they have not stopped.
Awesome.
It is so absolutely apparent who the winner is of this. And her name is, give me a drum roll. There we go. I love it. Robin Hurt is the winner. Robin Hurt. Good job, Robin Hurt. You are the winner. You will be getting a Wholesale Hotline care package. You're going to be getting access to the TTP workshop, also the tracking sheet, and then a bunch of swag. You will be getting a very, very limited edition. I'm only going to give out probably 4 or 5 of this PB&J t-shirt that we're designing. It is super freaking cool. I don't care if you work out in it. I don't care if you go on wholesale buy appointments in it. I don't care what you do with it, but it's an absolute epic shirt. So congratulations, Robin Hurt.
I will get this organized for you guys. Do me a favor. Send an email to Alejandra at talktopeople.com.
Make sure you tell her how to spell Alejandra because it's not the way you would think.
It's with a J. Alejandra.
Alejalejandra. Alejandra.
And Robin, just give her your shirt size and your email where we can get you access to the workshop. Awesome. Thank you, Robin.
Guys, you guys, Brent, you want to take us home?
Yeah, this was well, hold on. Let me slide this bad boy back on here. Okay.
Oh, Brent. Has anyone
everybody before Brent takes us home?
In red, by the way, Brent?
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's not my best color. I think sea foam is probably my best color, but red, it does make it look very impactful and like a charging bull right there. So everybody watching, everybody participating, everybody listening to Wholesale Hotline, we love you. We thank you so much. We want you taking action off after this 90 minutes. We want everything in motion so that you can take action as soon as possible. Find opportunities in your marketplace. There are distressed property owners, 6 to 10% of the market. There are more distressed property owners than there are investors. They need your help. They need your voice. They need your efforts to go out and help them out of their situation. So take action every day. Have quality conversations with distressed property owners or the people that represent distressed property owners, and you win every time. It is flawless. It is undefeated, 1,000%. You guys are the best. Jamil Pace, the absolute pinnacle of professionalism and coaching and handsomeness and husbandry. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I love you both. And I want to let everybody out there know that we are excited for next week and we love you. So until next week, go out and talk to people. Love you.
Thank you guys. Have a good week. See you next Monday.